where the wind
Lately,
blows.
I think I've only been home maybe 6 days in the past 2 months. Something like that.
One more second, Levi.
Very similar.
All I hear is job security.
I'll be excited. I'm excited for when it's over. Sent the family home during this peak travel season, so it'll be nice when it's all over.
To keep all the hotel points.
I do.
Ooh.
It's nice. I've actually maxed out with points with IHG and Marriott already this year.
Oh God.
That's awesome.
Set up a second account in the spouse's name, I guess.
So, everybody all set up?
Yep.
Alright, let me make sure my phone's on silent. So, last we left off, the group of you had uncovered the whereabouts of Floon Blackmar hiding as a prisoner within the Xanathar Guild in the sewers. It took you guys some time to travel through there, and upon reaching the final chamber, you guys were met by a half-orc mage or wizard of some sort, and through some carefully worded dialogue, uncovered a little bit more about possibly Xanathar's goals. In an attempt to knock him out or get more information out of him, I believe Levi went and punched him in the back of the head, which caused him to immediately haul ass out of sight. But with that, you guys were able to search around. You found a box full of treasure, and you guys can divvy that how you see fit. And then you made your way out of the sewers and up into a small tavern called the Underdark that was managed by all halflings. Cleaned yourselves up a bit and headed out from that evening back to the Yawning Portal. So, as you arrive at the Yawning Portal, you are met by the familiar sounds of laughter, tankards clanking, and music playing. And once again, the portal is lively and full of various faces and different races. Durnin's eyes raise from the counter that he was wiping down, and he sees all of you enter. His eyes meet yours, Calarian, and he gives a slight nod towards you and then gestures over towards the back corner of the room. Looking in that direction, you see a familiar face. Bolothamp Gedarm is currently sitting at a table, looking around anxiously as he clasps a tankard in his hands. In the seat across from him, you also see Raynar Neverember, leaning back in his chair and poring over what appears to be a large broadsheet. He abruptly stops as Volo stands up and lets out a beaming smile and stretches his arms across his, and just extremely happy to see all of you. He eagerly waves to the group as Raynar begins sliding a few tables together. So as you guys go to sit down, Volo looks over towards Floon and says, Floon, my boy, are you alright? I've seen better days, Gedarm, as he motions to the bruises covering parts of his face and takes the tankard from Volo's hands. Raynar, what in the bloody hells was that all about? I want answers. And you can see Floon's stature changes as he sits a little more upright and leans in towards Raynar. Raynar thoughtfully considers Floon for a moment and says, I am truly sorry, and that you were dragged into my family's personal issues, Floon. It seems that my estranged father has continued to drag me down into the muck with his name. He looks around momentarily and then continues. In the past few hours, since our friends here rescued me, I have learned some rather interesting information, although I must admit I don't know if any of it's true. According to rumor, my father embezzled a large sum of dragons and seems to have hid it somewhere within the city. However, he was ousted as Open Lord while he traveled to Neverwinter and was unable to recover the gold himself. It seems that rumor of this artifact has spread throughout the underbelly of the city, and the violence in the streets seems to have spawned over the possession of this key. You can see now, like, Volo's eyes widen slightly and Floon's narrows a bit. You see, I have no idea what this object, this Stone of Galore, looks like or its whereabouts. Ever since I confronted my father a few years back for conspiring to kill the Blackstaff, he and I have not been on speaking terms. More so, he's been extremely careful to tread around my presence. But I can tell you that at some point, the Xanathar Guild supposedly had this stone, and they accused the Zhentarim of stealing it from them. It's hard to say which faction of Zents did this, but the Xanathar Guild has not been selective in its war with them. They are ordered to kill on sight any Zents they come across, and vice versa. And then Raynar kind of sits back quietly and looks at the rest of you.
Did you say he stole dragons? Wait, that's not my voice.
Not real dragons, my young friend. But, in Waterdeep, gold is often referred to as a dragon, and he pulls one out and he twirls it in his fingers and he shows you the little etched-in dragon on the piece of gold.
Oh, that's very fancy. I've never seen anything like it.
The City of Splendors tends to make most currency resemble certain aspects of its city. It's a good way of identifying what belongs to it and what doesn't. Volo, seeing the tension in the group, he pipes up and he says, "Well, let's put this brooding mood aside for a moment," and he looks at the group of you. I confess that I have but a few coins to spare, but never let it be said that Volo reneges on a promise, and allow me to present something much more valuable. And he reaches down to the side of his chair and he holds out a scroll tube. This, as he kind of shakes it in front of him, is the deed to a remarkable property here in Waterdeep. Now, we'll need a magistrate to witness the transfer of ownership, of course, but I'll arrange a meeting with one after you've inspected the estate and deemed it satisfactory. And Raynar kind of gives Volo a side look for a moment. And Volo stretches out. He opens up the scroll tube and he lays it out in front of you guys. And what you see is... put it in everyone's journal.
You mean this to substitute for the liquid gold he promised?
I'm sorry?
Does he mean this to substitute for the liquid gold he promised?
You sound like you're underwater.
I'm gonna restart my computer then.
Okay, well that sounded clear.
Wait, we're good now?
Yes?
Okay.
So one more time.
Is that in substitute for the liquid gold he promised?
This, yes, he humbly kind of bows his head a little bit in a sheepish manner, and he kind of looks at you and says, like, I am still waiting on royalties from my book, Volo's Guide to Monsters, and yeah, I promise you, this is much more valuable than the paltry sum of gold that I had originally promised. And he presents before the group of you a deed to a manor. And as it is stated, it's called Trollskull Manor.
Oh, what's in it? Is there a forge?
Volo thinks for a second. He's like, you know, I don't think currently there is one. It used to be a tavern. It's been out of commission for quite some time. I recently just purchased it a few months back as part of my latest endeavor, my newest book that I'm attempting to write. I feel that it would be in better suited hands than just mine.
This document mentions taxes. How much are those gonna run us?
Raynar kind of leans up and says, typical taxes for transfer of ownership, things like that, they don't cost more than 20-30 gold, I believe. I usually have my servants handling a lot of the business transactions on my side, so I haven't been keeping track. But if it's an issue for you, just come see me. I owe you guys a debt.
Oh, very nice. Can't wait to take a tour.
And with that, Volo kind of sits back and he goes to reach out again for his tankard, but he sees that, Flynn still has it clutched in his grasp, and he says, well, let me go grab another drink. I'll be right back, guys. He scoots out of his chair and heads over towards the bar. It's currently early evening right now. I think you guys were in the sewers throughout most of the day, but the evening is yours, should you guys choose to do anything prior.
Perry will probably go check out the manor.
I'd go with.
Yeah, I think I would head over there.
Okay. So, as you guys are heading over towards the manor, it's located up in the North Ward. Let me give you the exact location of it. Yes. So, it will take you some time with some some just basic questions, or if you guys wanted to grab maybe a horse-drawn carriage, you guys could make your way up there. It's probably take about an hour or so to traverse the city on foot, just to make it up towards the North Ward. And let's see if I can actually.
So,
click on the
quick
token.
question: where's the trade ward relative to the? Wait, where's the magic item store relative to the North Ward?
Which the one you guys saw in the dock ward?
No, like the ones Tizio was recommending.
Yeah, for his the items that he wanted.
Give me 1 second to pull that up because my Roll20 seems to be lagging. So the magic shops in the castle ward, they're in a couple different places. Let's see, like which one in particular are you looking for?
I mean, I don't know the names of any, but like,
No, but Tizio does. Like, which one would he try to point you out to? That's the question.
Oh, I don't have a list, but I guess the closest one.
You do have a list.
our
Go to
location.
your player handouts. I gotta refresh my page. Go to your player handouts, and I gave you an entire list with descriptions and street names.
oh boy.
What? Hey, I
Oh,
can.
yeah, I found it. Give me a
okay,
second here.
so Troll
Pick the one with the
Skull
coolest owner.
is in the roundabouts. It's right about here is the location of the manor. But if you guys are heading on towards some shops on the way, let me know. But yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to, since the castle ward is, on its way. It'll just be a detour.
We're level 2, right?
Currently, yes.
What was it exactly that you were looking for?
Just some like ink, a couple spell scrolls, and maybe like a
You know what?
spell book.
The A&E Apple something. Sorry.
A&E Apothecary?
Yes, apothecary. Whoa.
Sounds fancy.
It's the same song.
I know nothing but the nicest places for these.
I'd expect nothing less.
Alright, give me 1 second, guys. It's the same song. Oh, because it totally is the same song. Thought I copied and pasted the next song, but I did not. There we go. Okay, so making your way over there. So the Street of Bells, which you guys are actually familiar with, because the Street of Bells is also the same street that the Watchful Order Magistrates and Protectors is on. So if we recall, Street of Bells was right about here. So I don't have an exact location, but put you there. So, are you all going that way, or somebody heading to the tavern?
Yeah, I'll just head straight to the manor.
Okay. So you'll still be en route as these guys veer off, since it's on one of the main roads. The Street of Bells is either that or the Way of the Dragon, which is right next to it, is the main thoroughfare. So you probably watch as Tizio and Talum say, "Oh, it's just right over here." You guys cut over. Where is everybody else going? Clarion.
Um,
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. It sounded
Yeah, I
like
can
he
hear
was
you.
cutting out.
Levi.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was the one that said that he was going to go to the manor.
Perry said he was going to the manor. Levi, are you heading to the manor, or are you going with these guys?
I think I to go towards the dock ward and try to find somebody.
Okay, so you'll be heading in the opposite direction as them.
I was gonna head towards the
Yeah.
manor.
Okay, so we got 2 going to the manor, 1 to the docks, 2 to the castle ward. Perfect. So, let's head over to the shop first, since it's going to take you guys some time to make your way to where you're going. As you guys approach on the east side of the Street of Bells, just north of Waterdeep Way, you come across a small apothecary, which from the outside, the odor of exotic spices they waft out onto the street, and it hits your nose, and you can smell different hints of cinnamon and lavender, and other various scents as you guys are approaching. You guys enter into the facility, and it's rather small. It's quaint. It's not too bad. Let me pull up my full notes from the shop. So I have it. It is. Yeah. Inside is a strange and wonderland of different dried branches, firmly stoppered jars, interesting looking shells, skulls, baskets of bones, and different labeled drawers. As you guys approach, you see that there is a tall human male, lightly tanned skin with blue eyes and blonde hair, pretty neatly trimmed on the sides, and a simple comb over on top. And he sees you approach, and he says, "Oh, good evening. How can I help you?"
Hello, I'm looking for a couple of items. Primary being some magic or some high quality inks and an enduring spellbook.
Oof. Well, in terms of magical items, give me a second. And you watch as he goes towards the back room and he yells, "Ed, customers!" And he walks back up towards the front. He goes, "I'm so sorry. My name is Al. You can call me Al or Alphonse, whichever you prefer. We welcome to A&E Apothecary. I appreciate it. My brother Ed runs the business a bit more, but I'm definitely here to help." And you watch as shortly after, a shorter human male, similar skin tone, same blue eyes, but his blonde hair is loosely tied into a ponytail that goes down towards the center of his back, and he's taking off
Yeah, I wonder
these.
where this is from.
He takes off his leather gloves that he has, and he just lifts up his goggles over his face. And he goes, "Hey, what can I do for you?"
Hey, my name's Talum. I'm just doing some shopping. Looking for some high quality inks, maybe an enduring spells book, and if I have enough money left over, maybe a couple spells, scrolls.
Oof. Okay, so I'll break it down pretty quick for you. We are an apothecary, and he kind of gestures towards the front door. We can sell you all kinds of herbs, spices, medicinals. There are a couple things magical in nature, such as healing potions, things like that, that we can provide you. But if you're looking specifically for magic to cast that kind of arcane spell, things like that, we unfortunately don't have any of that kind of stuff here. And he thinks for a minute. Let's see. The closest one I can think of, if you're looking for magic items, might be serpent books and folios, but well, that's back in the dock ward.
I'm just gonna take a look to him and just be like, I don't cast magic.
That's okay.
But ink, we do have high quality ink. We can definitely get you some of that. And you see, he nods towards his brother. His brother kind of runs off towards one of the shelves and picks up a couple bottles and he brings it up towards the counter. He's like, "So, how much are you looking for?"
I'll definitely check back in. I'm gonna look around, make sure I can get the spell book so I to copy my new spells into. So don't want to commit to ink yet.
Sure, not a problem. Well, if you guys need anything, just please come on by. We really appreciate the business.
Of course, I'll keep you in mind if I ever need some healing potions.
You bet.
What was the name of that? The one he said.
Serpent's books and folios. And he tells you it's down on Book Street in the dock ward. Can't miss it. There's a battered serpent's heel sign that hangs above the door.
Well, I'll probably try to head over there, but obviously that's going to take a bit.
So, in the meantime, probably we'll head over to Levi. So, Levi, you head over down towards the dock ward. The dock ward is huge. The last time you were here was a really long time ago. You were still working with the previous crew. Whereabouts are you trying to look for? Are you heading like straight to the docks themselves?
I'm trying to track down Captain Staggett.
The City Watch Captain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That
oh.
he hangs out in the dock ward mostly, I think.
He does. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Right. Not my strongest. Ooh.
Okay, so you probably end up spending the next better part of an hour or so scouring through the dock ward. And are you looking for like headquarters for a building? Are you trying to talk to anybody?
I would say I'm just trying to get a hold of him, so I think I would be looking for their main kind of station or barrack or what have you.
Gotcha. Pull that up. Where are you? I'll have to pull up the exact location. But yeah, so you spend probably the better part of the next hour or so, and that you come across a couple of the City Watch who are they roam pretty heavily here in the streets. Usually about 6 to 10 of them at a time in large groups that are just as they're walking around through the streets. And you can see you approach one of them and he goes, "Hi, can I help you?"
I'm looking for your captain,
Which captain?
Staggett.
Kind of looks at you funny. What can we help you with? Captain Staggett's a busy man.
I need to speak to him directly. Just once he sees me, he should recognize me.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh.
This human male City Watch guard, he kind of gives you a look up and down, and he says, "Yeah, likely, I'm sure. If you have a report of something you need to make, you can either make it with us or you can follow us over to the nearest watch office, and we'll file the complaint and get it over to Captain Staggett as quickly as possible."
How would you recommend the quickest way to get in contact with Captain Staggett would be?
I think I just told you, young man. As I said, Captain Staggett is a busy man. He can't just leave whatever things he's taking care of, investigations he's working on, What did you say your name was again?
Levi.
Levi. You watch as one of the other guardsmen just pulls out a small notebook and just takes a quick note. Says, and how is it you know Captain Staggett?
How don't I? Every way except biblically.
Kind of gives you a little worried eye. But like I said, you can follow us over towards one of our watch offices and we can file a request to meet with him. But he is a busy man. He's has to run the entire dock ward. And I couldn't tell you, he doesn't sit in his office all day. He likes to roam around that one.
Let's go to this office then.
Okay. So you start following them over. I'll take you some. Yes.
Are they in front or behind me?
They are.
I guess they would be leading.
So I mean, they're lead. Like some of them are leading. So there's about 6 of these watch right here, and I mean,
Oh, wonderful.
are you? Because they roam in large groups. So I mean, how are you trying to be behind them or in front of them? Because like the human male talking to you, he gestures down towards the street. He doesn't give you exact location where to go, but he just kind of says, "All right, let's keep going this way." And you got a couple of them that are looking around for other things, but they all seem to stick together as they're going.
Okay. So I'll just. I don't know. Yeah, I had an idea, but I'm not going to run with it if there's this many of them.
Unfortunately,
No,
yeah,
it wasn't anything. I was not going to be like, time to fight. No, that would not end well.
Yeah, the dock ward is usually heavily, and you would know this from your time being here. The dock ward's usually heavily guarded because there's a lot of robberies, muggings, criminal activity that go on in the dock ward. And even Raynar has told you when he was rescued off of Kendall Lane, there was probably about 24 guards or so that showed up just to help raid the house.
I'll speak to the one human guard that was just talking to me. And what can you tell me about Never Remember, Raynar?
I mean, what's there to tell? He's just a pompous rich kid who likes to roam around the city. He sticks his nose in a lot of trouble. Thinks he's one up on us. He kind of gestures towards the rest of his group. You see some of them nodding in agreement. A couple of them says, "Yeah, that right, bold prick." And he kind of goes into describing a bit of Raynar's demeanor, which you're familiar with. But you see, what he likes doing most is wasting a lot of our time. You know, there's been plenty of times where he's ticked off 1 or 2 of us, and we end up chasing him halfway through the city. Thinks it's fun, burning resources, wasting our time.
I mean, what would you be doing instead?
Keeping the peace, of
Walking
course.
Around?
We walk around because we have to. Dock ward's not the safest place at night. And definitely people like you shouldn't be wandering around alone. And as you're walking around, you can see like there a lot of the streets and alleys. There are a lot more alleyways here in the dock ward than there are in most of the other parts of the city. And aside from the smell of heavy salt water and the breeze coming in from the shoreline, it's not very well lit. It's not very well maintained. This seems to be a much poorer district than the rest.
You'd be surprised what I can and cannot hold my own in. So this Raynar, spoiled rich kid, troublemaker, is what you're telling me.
That pretty much sums him up.
When's the last time you saw him?
He thinks for a moment, but then one of the other guardsman pipe up and he goes, "Boy, Sergeant, I saw him just the other night. He was up in that raid over on Counter Lane." And then Sergeant kind of looks back and like, "Yeah, what was he doing there?" "I don't know. Him and a bunch of other folk were I don't know how to describe it, really. Cap Staggett wasn't really talking too much. I know he talked to the Neverham boy for a few moments and just let him go. There was a lot of dead bodies, a lot of blood." Sergeant kind of looks back at you and he goes, "See, there you go, sticking his nose in a business that he don't belong. It's best to leave that stuff to the City Watch."
Well, you lot look entirely prepared as I kind of look around at the group and try to gauge exactly how, I guess, like their build, if I can try to guess if they're actually up to snuff.
Make an insight check. You're trying to see if they're like crooked?
Yeah, like I'm trying to see if they like actually care.
Okay. All right. Through your time walking down, just lightly conversing with the different guys, and you can see that the majority of them, you know, that some of them are there because, you know, this a means to feed their family. Maybe they didn't have a lot of other options growing up, and falling into the City Watch helps pay the bills. You get the idea that this one sergeant in particular, a shorter human man with you know, a thick brown mustache, bit of a grit to his voice, and this is the one you've been talking to for most of this walk towards the city station, and they all seem to be pretty on par with trying to keep the peace as best they can, trying to, you know, take it night by night, hoping that, you know, they're not having to do too much work, get into too much trouble.
Are we almost at this office of yours?
Oh yeah, it's not too much farther. And then we'll kind of fade over towards Perry and Calarian. So,
Wasn't there a third with us?
pardon?
Was there a third with us? Or is this the entire-
Nope.
Okay, I guess I misheard.
Yep, you and Perry headed up, and Levi went off on his own. So, as you guys make your way over towards what's the name of that wonderful street? Perfect. Yeah, Sayre-Dune Street. You guys start heading. You head up on the high road, and then you cut right over onto like Delzorin Street, and just between Delzorin Street and Sayre-Dune Street, which is right about here, you come across a large alley of various different size homes and businesses. Taking a moment to look around, you can actually see that there is a small sign right as you enter into this alley, and there's only really there's two ways into this alley, and they're right off of Sayre-Dune Street to the north. And you can see that the sign actually says Troll Skull Alley. And you start looking around for a moment, and with the information that Volo gave you and the key that he passed off, you're looking for the largest house that's there. And what you actually find, pull up the notes for that. There is a wonderful 4-story building that is just standing almost right at the main entrance of the alley. And taking a look at it, and with the minimal light that is with the now setting sun, you can tell that the house itself looks pretty worn down a bit. There are broken windows. There are, you know, the front door is kind of hanging on one hinge a little bit. It definitely needs quite a bit of repair. There, a lot of the wood is creaking. It doesn't seem to be alive at all. But as you guys head up inside, you are approached by a large tap room in the center, and it's filled with broken furniture, tarnished silverware. There's some cask of wine that have probably turned into vinegar, and just worthless debris scattered about. But I can show you guys the interior.
You do this place over gold? Oh man, you really got one over on us.
You guys see the pop
It's
up?
got a certain charm about it.
You guys see the pop up?
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Yep. So you guys are able to take time to look through here, and it's completely dark in here. There's no candles lit. There are different hearths and things like that within the building, but it's dilapidated. It needs work, definitely, but yeah, place is yours.
Where do you
Hmm.
want to look first?
I'm looking through it.
I assume you guys are like casting light or a torch or something.
Yeah, I'll just use Druidcraft.
To try to light the hearth in the middle or something.
Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, I'll use Druidcraft to light anything that's lightable, I guess.
I mean, so there are hearths in the main room here. This is the tap room on the bottom left corner of the layout. There are. Let's see, where's the hearth at?
Yeah, I'll just like grab maybe some really, really bad wood or something and just throw it in there.
Sure, yeah, you can break off or pick up some of the broken bar stools that are there and just kind of chuck them into the pile and just ignite it. Easy enough to do, and start feeling the radiation of heat coming off the hearth. And definitely can take some time to investigate the area if you like. If there's a specific area, let me know. Heading back over to Tizio and Talum, where are you guys heading?
I guess to the place we were referred to.
Okay. So
if Tizio's still coming with me.
Yeah, I'll navigate you through it.
okay, yeah, easy enough to do. So, giving an idea of the street name and asking a couple people as you pass by. Let me actually pull up the thing. So I got it somewhere. Sorry.
Oh god, I just noticed the cricket. That's how much it blended in.
You guys are just walking around outside. All right, yeah. So, as you guys make your way back into the dock ward, starting to get comfortable, familiar by the transition from nice looking houses in the castle ward into the more dilapidated and clustered areas of the dock ward. You guys head on down and you're heading over towards Book Street. You can see on one side there's a heated argument that erupts in a parked coach as you guys are just casually walking down one of the main roads, and then you can see all of a sudden the door to the coach slams open, and one of the two passengers in there is just this very angry looking female just steps out, and she's wearing a nice long gown, and she just storms off. And you see that the other human male is just standing there like, wait, come back, Claudia! But you find yourselves coming up to a tall and gloomy looking exterior of a shop on the east side of Book Street. There's a battered serpentine sign that hangs above an old unkept stone building, and the wares window, the main display window, it seems to be boarded over, and there's a solid black doorway that is like shut tight. You can see up on the doorway about eye level, there's like a sliding view panel.
Okay. Is it unlocked or do I need to knock?
Make a perception check. Nice. It's hard to tell if it's locked. The door is definitely closed. You're not seeing any light or any light sources or anything emanating from the building. But that is also probably because they purposely boarded up and blocked out the window that's right next to the main door. But as you step near the door to inspect it, you can see these faint glyphs that are actually on the boards and the doorway, and they're emanating a number of various faint colors, all from like deep red and amber and purple, and like 2 white ones.
Oh, is that all? Do I recognize them at all besides just as magical?
You recognize them as magical, but because the glyphs are not a language per se, you wouldn't be able to be like, oh, this glyph is, raise the dead or things like that. But you can definitely tell that there's this strong magical presence there, and it seems to be all clustered up on the doors and the window.
Letizia, you want to knock?
I go ahead and just knock.
Okay, so yep, you knock on the door. You wait a few minutes. No signs of life. No sounds from the inside. You make a perception check. Yeah, you take a moment to listen. Rap back on the knocker a couple times, but it doesn't seem that anyone is currently home, unfortunately.
Well, we can come back in the morning.
Indeed, we'll make the long walk. While you're down,
Is it?
Yes.
No, go ahead.
while we're down here, you want to check out that Zoblob dude?
Oh yeah, for sure. Real quick, is it like a strip where like they're all connected, or is it just like a standalone like building?
So this is a shop that is connected with different residential houses. So with the theme of the dock ward is that they're almost kind of like 1 to 2 inch gaps between most houses, and you can see that there's just this shop with its sign, and then to the right and left of it, it just appears to be a normal residential home. You can see that there's some candlelight or fire of some sort in a couple of the windows. Across the street from you, you can see that there's a couple small vendors that look like they're closing up for the evening, probably selling like fish or various meats and vegetables, things like that. It's not like a market area. There is a market of Waterdeep, but this is not that area. You guys are somewhere down here-ish.
Yeah, let's go and head out to Zablob.
Actually, over here, Oak Street. Okay, so you guys are making your way over to Zablob. Levi. So this is fun. Having traveled with these guys for about 45 minutes or so, you're starting to get the idea that, oh, I love it. You're starting to get the idea that they're taking you in the direction that you want to go, but they're not taking the direct route. It seems as if you're almost kind of following their patrol, because none of them have been complaining about what's taking so long. It seems that almost they're doing their rounds and you just happen to be tagging along with them. And I feel a little angry about that. But nevertheless, you do make your way back towards a City Watch building, which is located right about here. And you can see it is brightly illuminated. There are a couple guards that are posted up on the outside. It's not a tall building by any means. It seems to be a one-story building that is almost affixed right on the corner. And you can see that there are large sign that hangs above the building itself is what you recognize as the crest of Waterdeep. Welcome back. And yeah, so they take you onto the inside, and you can see that there are it's a little busy. You can see that there are a number of people that are in the process of running around doing paperwork. There are other people that are giving reports. You can see that there's another group of about 4 to 5 individuals that look like they've been waiting for this current group to get back so that they can start making their rounds around the city. And yeah, you enter into the facility, and you can see that there is a what appears to be an elven female, very short auburn hair, light green eyes, and she looks up over the counter at you, and she says, can I help you?"
Hi. I'm looking for Captain Staggett.
She takes a moment to look around, and then you see that she looks towards the back of the, for lack of a better word, office building of this one-story flat, and you can see as you're following her gaze, there is a office door that is just open, but there's a window with a shutter on the inside of it that is currently closed, and there's no light emanating from the room. And she kind of looks back over to you, and she goes, I'm sorry, he hasn't been back from his patrol yet. Oh, can I help you with something?
I don't want to come off as rude, especially not to you, because I know you're probably having a rough go and you did nothing. None of this is your fault. I just have to ask him a few questions. It's nothing serious. I'm an old friend, and he will know me. I can promise you. He might remark that I was shorter last time he saw me, but I need to ask him some things, and I can't wait around for him.
And it's at that moment that, as you're there trying to explain your circumstance, that there is a loud bang from the front door as it is kicked open, and a familiar grizzled old human with salt and pepper hair, and a familiar, well, maybe not for you familiar, there's an eye patch over his right eye. You can see Captain Staggett busts in through the front door, holding what appears to be 2 people that are currently manacled and bound behind their back, and he just kind of shoves them down to the floor. And he goes, "Julia, let's get him incarcerated, shall we?" And he just stands there, and he starts pulling out a cigar from his pocket that's working on lighting it.
Captain.
He kind of stops mid spark, looks up over at you. "Gonna help you, son."
I mean, if I'm your son, whatever will I tell Tidewater?
His eyes narrow at you for a moment, and then he starts chuckling. "Tidewater. I haven't heard that name in a while. Is that old fart still living?"
For now, until he gets himself in too much trouble again.
"Levi, is that you?"
I mean, what other tiefling would be waiting around for you?
He kind of laughs and he chuckles, and he walks up towards you, gives you a pat on the shoulder, and he says, Come. Tell me what's been going on." And he starts leading you into his back office, shuts the door.
Before he does that, I take a look back at those guards, and I just kind of let them know.
Yeah, they were the City Watch. Yeah, they were chuckling at first, and then their faces kind of like jaw dropped a little, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this kid?" So you guys enter in his back office, and looking around, it's been a long time since you've been anywhere near Captain Staggett. The eye patch is new. Not entirely sure where that came from. But his office is as simple as ever. It's a desk and a chair, and he actually ends up grabbing one on his way in towards his office for you to sit down. He says, "Come, come. What's been going on?"
I left Tidewater.
What do you mean left?
Well, I wanted to be my own person. As much as I loved the crew and loved the life, I absolutely didn't want to be, quote, that little demon boy on the ship anymore.
Aha, music change. You gotta give me something more than that, Levi. I don't understand. What's going on between you? Is he alright? Are you alright?
I'm looking for a man named Faust.
Kind of leans back in his chair and crosses his arms. Tell me about him.
He was part of our crew for a bit. You know, we found him. I can't remember where. I was a child, and I think he stowed away, and he was a monk, and you know, I saw him practicing and doing these amazing things, and it brought something out of me because here's this man on a ship where there's swords, and he's going toe to toe with people with his hands and his feet, and it seemed as if he was challenging everything that I had known, and he taught me all of these things little by little, and I started to get more brave than I should have, and you know, as I got older, I helped Tidewater more, and Tidewater was not approving, and he threw Faust off the ship, not into the water, but he kicked him out of the crew, and I've been looking for this man because I feel as if I owe a lot to him. And I know that he travels around a lot, and I feel like if anyone could have seen him, it might have been you.
And you take some time and you describe what Faust looks like to the best of your memory. And Captain Staggett looks at you, and he looks at you hard. Levi, I am really sorry to hear this. I can't believe you and Tidewater left on such bad terms. I haven't seen this person you've described, this Faust. But, if he makes his way across the water, you bet your ass he'd come through the dock ward and I'd see him first. But I'll keep my ear to the ground for you. I at least owe Tidewater that much.
Thank you. I'll write a letter to Tidewater for the both of us, and I'm sure he'll love to hear about what you're doing, and he might even stop by. Just do me a favor and don't look too hard in the crew quarters for me.
Not to worry, don't worry. I really wish there was something more I could do for you. It's just... things have been crazy this past couple 10-day. Gangs have been killing each other in plain sight. Just the other night we raided a house. A warehouse, to be exact. I don't know. Have you seen
What
Raynar
else
at
has
all?
been happening? Raynar. For a bit.
Hmm.
He's still as Raynar as he gets.
If only that boy had put his talents to use and joined the City Watch, I think things would be better off here in the docks. But I guess his status as a noble thinks he's a little higher up than the rest of us.
He's just too arrogant for his own good. I do, however. Can I ask you a favor?
Depends on the favor.
Well, let's say it's you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
He doesn't respond, but he looks at you patiently.
What if I could get Raynar in here with you one-on-one
To what
for a
end?
conversation? And I've had some I've heard whispers and go looking into things for him, and I could always give you some information and see if we can clean up Waterdeep together, but completely in your name.
Make a persuasion check.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
He sits up, takes his boots off the table, and he leans up towards you, clasps his hands in front of him, and he looks you very closely in the eye. Listen, son. Raynar's a headache, but he's never been one to cause trouble. Not of his own accord. Him and his little group of friends, sure, they saved the Blackstaff back in the day, I'll give them that. We just wish that he wouldn't go off as a vigilante doing things on his own, and then trying to say that we should have done our jobs better. We're doing our job the best we can. If he has an issue, just like anybody else, he should report it to the Watch. Hell, he can report it to the Blackstaff for all I care. I'm sure she owes him one. But
I understand fully. I know that he is a handful. If it's saying that about an adult is as insane as you can get.
well, listen, Levi.
How?
If he does end up doing something that's beyond his scope as a citizen, don't be afraid to tell one of us. We're always here to help. That's what the City Watch does.
I just need to know how willing you are to lose men.
Well, I'll try very hard not to lose any.
And that is what I am suggesting to you. You let me and some friends do our digging and adjustments, and the city watch will be the one that gets all the credit. All I need from you is some uniforms.
If you find hard physical evidence that the son of the previous Open Lord of Waterdeep is doing illegal activity in this city or causing harm to others, you bring it to me. We'll support you.
All right. Just don't say I didn't warn you.
He gives you a stern look, but doesn't say anything.
All right. I thank him again, and
Are you,
second,
are you staying in
I'm
town?
glad
Or are you sticking around?
for however long I need to.
Alright. Where can I find you?
Ooh, what was that inn called?
Portal.
I'm trying
The
to find it.
Oh, the one you guys were just at tonight, or the place that you guys were just given?
Well, yeah. What's the one that we were staying at?
Yep. Troll Skull Manor.
We, my friends and I have gotten. Oh, okay. Gotten the. We came into a manor.
Is that right? Where at?
I mean, I'm not one to shy away from one. Up in the North Ward.
Okay. What's the name of it?
Soul Skull Manor.
Alright. I'll come looking for you if I need anything. Or if I find anything about this Faust.
Thank you. And Staggett, don't try to lose your other eye.
Maybe when the city calms down a bit, you and I can have a drink and talk about it more.
I'd like that.
Alright. And he stands up from his chair and gestures towards the door and opens it up for you. Fading back over towards Perry and Calarian. What are you guys in the process of doing?
Guess I'll take a look. Go up and take a look at the library.
Oh, okay. Let me pull that back up. Ah, yes, the library and study on the third floor. Sure. Yeah. So, making your way up there, you have to be careful with some of the steps and the weight of the stairs. They kind of groan under your full chainmail as you and Calarian are making your way up to the third floor of this manor. Again, no light sources up here directly. There is a hearth in the bedroom to the north, as you can see, but it's currently pretty dark. So you pull out a light source and you're holding it aloft as you walk through these halls. You see that the occasional rat that scurries across. You can see that there is a bird's nest in a couple places in the rafters, but you make your way into the library study room, and while there are shelves there for various books and things, a lot of them are pretty barren. There are a couple books that appear to be worse for wear. You go to reach for a couple of them, and the pages start to rip out of their bindings, clutter to the floor. There's a lot of thick, heavy dust in the air as you disturb the room for the first time in who knows how long.
So this den on the second floor, is that like a patio there? Or?
Yeah, so the way this is designed, it's not really written out too well. The tap room, the first floor of the inn, the main entrance, there is no access to the actual upper second, third, and attic floors of the facility. So it is you walk up the stairs on the back side of the building, and you can come in. There's a bit of an open patio, which is that right near the second floor, those dotted lines, and then it's a very nice, well, what could be a very nice lounge area, but you guys can fit it however you like. But there are 2 balconies, which are those dotted lines that you can see.
So kind of like if it's like a porch.
Yeah, kind of like a porch.
Yeah.
Except on the second floor.
I think I get it now. And this is all ours. All the floors are.
This whole entire facility is yours.
I guess I might go down to the cellar just to see. It's the only other thing that looked possibly interesting.
Okay. Taking a look down into the cellar. It is there are a couple wine casks that are there, still stoppered. There's a couple stains of what look to be like some kind of a dark red liquid, but the smell of it is very vinegary as it wafts up to your nose as you head down through the hatch into the basement. Are you both going down there, or are you guys?
Yeah, let's take a ferry.
Okay. So as you guys enter down in there, there's a small, maybe 10-foot ladder or so that brings you down, and it's not relatively large. You can see that there's the ale cellar where the wine casks are still at, and then you can see that there's various different wine racks of different heights, but they appear to be barren. And then you both hear a loud thud.
Where did it come from?
It sounded like it came from up the ladder.
I'm gonna climb back up the ladder and see if I can find
Okay.
where the thud.
You make your way up to the top of the ladder, and the hatch is closed. And it is a little hard to open. Try to make a strength check for me. Okay, easy enough. You kind of pull your weight up on the rung of the ladder, and you shove it with your shoulder, and you are able to pop it back open. You poke your head around the tap room. Quiet.
I'm gonna climb all the way up. I'm gonna try and close the hatch and open it and see if it was as difficult the second time.
Sure. Yeah, you lower down the hatch, and you go to grab on the metal ring. It opens right back up. Doesn't seem to be stuck or warped.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast use Divine Sense.
Ooh. Let me pull that up real quick.
I can link it in chat here too.
Thank you. Let me see here. Let me just double check one thing. Yeah, you do. You do get a sense from the opposite side of the tap room, going towards the kitchen, a strong undead presence.
I don't see anything though.
No.
Alright. I think it says I know the type. Oh, the type is just undead.
It is
but not
yes.
specific undead.
No. It just, you know that there's an undead presence. Well, you would know if it's good or evil. It does not appear to be evil,
Okay.
and you're not getting a good sense from it, but you can sense that there's an undead presence. Let's see here.
Either way, I'm gonna.
Yep.
I'm gonna let Perry know.
Okay.
That we're not alone.
Let's see. Just reading through this really long spell.
As you're concentrating on that spell for the next minute or so, you watch as that presence slowly starts drifting upward towards the second, and then it disappears from your radar.
Maybe there's a way we can get it to come out. I don't know. Can I like call it forth or try to call it forth?
How does Perry try to call it forth?
Reveal yourself, poltergeist.
Make a persuasion check. Okay. You wait for a moment, and then you hear another loud thud coming from the ceiling above you.
Whoops, I was trying to read it. Yeah, I'll just try to like keep chasing the sounds, I guess.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me. Because you gotta have to run outside, run back inside. Okay. You rush up towards the second floor and you're looking around, listening. You're not noticing any movement currently. Everything seems to be quiet and still again.
I imagine at the very that it's not evil.
So while they're chasing ghosts, Tizio and Talum, while they're thinking about how to handle that, let's see here. We are heading to Zoblob.
I think that was the plan, right, Tizio? Unless you had somewhere you wanted to go.
No, I think it's Zoblob.
Okie doke. So, moving off of Book Sheep, wonderful words, Book Street, heading over towards Zoblob Shop. Let's see here. You come back across the familiar deep purple facade that's emanating out into the street of the dockward there, and you can see still standing there, still as what's the word I want to look for? Overbearing a presence as ever, the stuffed beholder that sits in the window, back towards the glass, facing inside the shop. And you can see this wooden sign hanging above in elaborate letters, Old Zoblob. As you guys enter, a cloud of lavender-scented purple smoke trails out of the shop as you start peering inside. Every wall is painted purple, and every dusty knickknack on the shelves is like dyed in this deep violet. There's a hairless gnome sitting cross-legged on the counter, and he's wearing these plum-colored robes. His cheeks are decorated with 9 purple face-painted eyes. The gnome lowers a pipe and exhales a cloud of lavender smoke before raising a hand. Hail and well met! Come, browse the shelves of the most curious curiosity shop in the world.
Sounds good. Just look around. Does he have anything interesting?
Sure. Make an investigation check. Okay, nice. Yeah, looking around, there are all kinds of knickknacks and various things. There are tiny silver coins that look like ravens. There's this silver badge in the shape of like 5-pointed stars. There are various different decorative looking knives, different glass vials with what look to be like toenail clippings. There even appears to be like different parts of like clothing and vests, or old keys, or small cages, toy soldiers. There are so many different trinkets here.
Can
Go ahead.
I use a spell slot to cast Detect Magic real quick?
Sure can. You go ahead and you cast Detect Magic. And there are a couple things. Oops, wrong one. Pull up the thing for that.
Does he seem like interested that I cast a spell or anything, or does he not care?
He seems to be just watching you guys, but not moving. He's just calmly smoking on his pipe. And he looks over at you. Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I'll let you finish.
Oh, he looks over at you guys as you're browsing up and down the shelves, and he goes, "There's a story with each one of these. If it piques your eye, let me know." And as you are casting Detect Magic, you bet. Let's see here. You do come across a couple things. First and foremost, you sense, what is the color of this? Yes, I believe it's green. Hold on, let me pull up the chart for that. I have so many charts. Where is your color chart? You sense a couple different things. You sense one of the things that are actually placed on the shelf near you is giving off a faint gray aura. You sense that there is a white aura emanating from Zoblob, the beholder, the stuffed beholder itself. Let's see here. You can also sense that there is a faint green aura coming from behind the counter where the old gnome sits. And yeah, that's it.
What items giving off the gray aura? Sorry.
Yeah, so looking over on the shelf, is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so looking over at the shelf there, as you get closer to this faint gray aura, you can see that there's this copper amulet, and when you pop it open, almost like a pocket watch, it contains tiny interlocking gears, and you can sense that this gray aura is emanating from it. It just looks like a small pocket watch that can be wound, but you're not entirely sure what it does. And you can see now that as you're picking up the item, the old gnome there sitting there says, "Oh, I see, you found the thing which twaits with fate."
That's a bit ambiguous.
"Oh, this came across to me many years ago. One adventurer such as yourself simply need wind this clock a little bit to turn time on their side."
Sounds rare.
Say again?
Sounds quite rare.
It's one of a kind as far as I know.
What would it take for you to part with it?
Almost everything in this shop has a price. This can be yours for just a measly 150 dragons.
Can I take some time to cast Identify on it?
Just in the shop?
Yeah.
Are you trying to spend 10 minutes sitting there with the object?
I can use a spell slot.
I mean,
Or
it's
can
up to
spend
you.
10 minutes.
I mean, it's up to you. What do you want to do?
Zoblob, would you mind if I take a minute, examine it a little bit more?
Make a persuasion check. Sure, take as much time as you need. Zoblob's here for you. But he's watching you.
I'll start ritual casting identify.
Okay, so post for me identify. Okay, so you sit there and you start scribbling on Zoblob's floor, and he looks at you a little curiously as you're casting this spell, and then he gently reminds you like, so where are you guys from?
I'm just working away, and that's on Tizio.
I know. He's looking at you, Tizio, as he's curiously watching Talum scribble on his floor. Slight twinge in his eyebrow.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat what he just said?
Oh, he asked, "Where are you from? What are you doing here in the city?"
Oh, I was born, raised here, nearby. That is. But you said almost everything here has a price. What doesn't have a price here?
Well, most certainly this, and he points over to the side where he's currently. It looks like a hookah that he has that's completely covered in purple glass, and it has this long hose that he's smoking now from a pipe. This is a personal trinket of mine that's not for sale. Old Zoblob over there, and he points towards the beholder at the other window. He's like, well, he's been here for as long as the shop's been here, and I must say he's gotta stay. But my shoes, if you're a size 4, you can buy them for the right price.
Breathing in like the sense that that you said it's like a lavender. I wanted to ask, can I
Do you want to
smell
try?
whatever to see if it's anything like if it's like a drug or anything like that?
Just from the odor.
Yeah, maybe kind of like when people smell like wine, they're able to say like, oh, it has this and that, like all
Sure.
these different scents to it.
Okay.
That they can kind of make it out as to
Make a
what.
medicine check. Okay. It strongly smells of lavender. You can there's a hint of it's almost a spice or something that kind of tinges your nose when you start breathing it in strongly, but it doesn't seem to be anything that you can recognize immediately. You're not entirely sure what's its purpose, but he is sitting there, and he takes a long drag on the small end of the pipe and releases another long plume of purple smoke that emanates starting from him outward, and it just kind of hangs on the floor and then drifts around casually. You're welcome to try if you like some.
Oh no, thank you. I hear it's bad for the lungs, but there's no evidence of that, I guess.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mentioned the old Zablob, the stuffed animal up front?
Ah, yeah, that's what the shop's named after. That beholder there in the window, Zablob himself. I bought the shop not too long ago. The owner before me said he'd slain that monster. Beholders are a nasty thing.
Oh, interesting. I thought you were Zablob.
I am
Sorry,
Zablob.
what's your name then?
Zablob.
And
Oh
so
boy.
you're both Zablob?
That's right, we are. You see, I tried to rename the shop when I took it, but everyone knows Zablob, and I took the name Zablob to ease the confusion.
Interesting. So the previous owner, he was named Zablob as well?
No, he was not.
And did he also wear a size 4?
No, he did not.
Can I see Zablob? Can I hold him? The stuffed animal, that is.
He chuckles a little bit. He says, "Please, he is very old. I request that you look and not touch."
Is there like any sort of like barrier around him or anything like that?
Barrier around Zoblob, the stuffed animal?
Yeah, the stuffed animal, yeah. Like to prevent people from touching him or anything like that.
No, there's no barrier, but you can see he is extremely large. It's like the largest Build-A-Bear workshop animal that you can find, and he is attached to a long metal rod that is bolted into the floor. But yeah, you get closer to it, and you as you inspect it, it appears to be a large purple dyed, minus the eyes, stuffed beholder. It appears to be hollow on the inside.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like to just browse around for a moment.
Please,
Privately.
please. I don't know about privately, but you're certainly welcome to look around. Make an investigation check. And roll a D100 for me. Okay. Nice. So yeah, you take some time, you look around, and aside from the large clutter of things, you know, the one thing that you find that sticks out the most to you is this mechanical canary that's inside this gnome crafted lamp, and as you start to wind it slightly, you can see that the canary starts to just hop around on the inside of the lamp, and there's enough place inside it for a candle. And the glass lamp of itself is all purple stained. The base of it is purple. Even the winding mechanism is purple. But you see Zoblob looks over to you and goes, "Ah, yes. It's a wonderful piece that is. Came from me all the way from Amon. One of a kind. But it can be yours if you like."
It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. How much are you asking for it?
All that? And he takes a moment to think about it. Oh, 6 silver pieces. A measly bargain.
Why is it a one of a kind yet worth so little?
He chuckles a little bit and he says, "Well, not everything in here is a priceless artifact. But one-of-a-kind objects don't necessarily mean that they're going to be expensive. It could have been someone's long-lost dream to make such an object, and then they realized it had no value outside of the musings of a child. But it looks good with you. I see you like to tinker with things, don't you? I think that suits you well."
Oh yes, this definitely catches my eye. But I don't know. You see, I'm a beginner here, and do you so happen to have some sort of tinkering tools?
He looks around for a moment, and then he reaches behind his desk, and he pulls out a wrapped leather kit that is tied off with another piece of leather that's, just tied off in a bow. And he starts undoing it, and he lays it out across in front, and you can see before you is a set of tinker's tools. Let's pull up the price for that. this set of Tinker's tools, it's what I use to fix up anything that comes into my shop that wasn't in fully functional condition, you see. If you are in need of it, then a fellow tinkerer like I am, I can part with it and always get another.
Those seem mighty fancy. How much are you asking for them?
They're no fancier than anything else you'd buy around here. I won't be able to fix anything for a while, but I can part with it for 60 gold.
Oof, that's quite a price. Quite a price.
Oh, they don't come cheap.
What if I gave you 30 for them? And maybe an IOU, like a some sort of layaway plan or something for the rest.
Tell them that's what you get with your Identify magic.
Okay.
Make a persuasion check. Tizio. I'm very sorry, young man. You must understand. I'm selling this to you out of the kindness of my heart. I could point you into the direction of the general stores. I'm sure they have plenty of them if you want. But you seemed as if you needed it immediately, and I had it to provide.
No, I understand.
But if you
You
always
you
want to
have a
go haggle,
business.
you can always go talk to... And he pulls up the name of the shop. Second. Ba-ba-ba. Where is it? Nope, that's not it. Do I do not have it. He gives you the information for another one of the large known general stores here in Waterdeep. I'll have to get you the name for it. I apologize.
No, I understand, sir. You run a business. You have to make money. You have to stay afloat. Personal item. I completely understand.
Oh, not to worry, not to worry. Are you sure I can't tempt you with it?
Oh, no. It is interesting in design. Perhaps I'll look a little more and come back to it.
Okay, and he starts rolling it up, and he looks over to you, Talum, who's now completely scribbled all over his floor. He goes, "And you? You done drawing over there?"
Well, first I'll snap my fingers and clean up all my mess. And then, yeah, I finished up. And you said this was 130 gold?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, I wasn't even trying to convince him, but sure.
Oh, because that's less than what it was.
You know,
So
whatever.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
forgot.
I wasn't sure. I was gonna let you roll for it. He looks at you. He goes, "Now that, Sonny, that's a little more rare than that canary your friend has. It's 150 gold."
I'll go ahead and tell Tizia what it does real quick.
Sure.
Are you interested in this? Are you interested in this, Tizia?
Hang on, let me reread this here.
Aurora's Whole Realm Shop Catalog Counter. That's the name of it.
What's the shop?
Oh, for the the general store where you can purchase a set of Tinker's tools.
Ah, okay.
Aurora's Whole Realm Shop Catalog Counter.
Wait, can Tizia actually see the handout or just me?
Everyone should be able to see the handout. Should
Oh.
Yeah, I can see it.
Just making sure.
How much was it?
150.
I could not afford that. That seems interesting, as well as a lot of the other items here. Unfortunately, I feel like they are quite a bit more than I would have thought.
So, just looking around real quick, are there any books or anything in here, or is it just trinkets?
Are there any books there? You said.
Yeah.
Uh, there are a couple different books of varying sizes. A lot of the labels are faded. Yeah, are you trying to spend additional time looking around at the books as well?
I mean, I would just look through them, see if there's any sort of like spells or anything. But otherwise, I would thank Zoblob for his time and pass on the clockwork amulet.
Okay. Make an investigation check. Okay. Yeah, you place the clockwork amulet back on the shelf, and Zoblob's now just kind of looking a little disgruntled. And he watches you peruse a couple other shelves, takes another long drag of his pipe, and releases it into the air. The books that you do find amongst the clutter, this is like thrift store shopping. It's not like neatly organized or anything by those means. So you're kind of having to pull stuff off shelves and quickly flick through. You're not finding anything that's giving off like any kind of magical sense or arcane writing in nature. You find a couple children's books, maybe one or two books on history of a city that you might not be familiar with.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and buy Tizio his lamp.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk up towards the counter with it, and Zalop says, "Yeah, well, that's just 6 silver pieces, please."
I'll toss it down and thank him for his time.
Thank you. We're always open. Please, if anything else catches your eye, just come back.
Of course.
I apologize for cutting you off there for in a minute. Taking a look around, what's probably the least interesting item here?
You're looking for the most boring item.
Yeah, just during my gander, the least boring one.
Roll a d100. This is so fitting. Taking a quick glance around, you see that tucked on the bottom shelf, it doesn't fit on the shelf completely. It's actually just kind of like leaned up against the shelf, but it's taking up a large portion of the floor. Is this portrait? It's about a 2x4 portrait, and it is this cameo, and it's water painted in there in this I don't even know how to describe this. This is like the hideous person you've ever seen. And we're not talking like Picasso painting. We're talking like, I think this is how this guy really looks.
Zablob.
Yes.
How much is this?
And you kind of lift it up and you hold it over to him, and he winces a little bit at it. He's like, this is 2 silver.
I'm gonna look at the painting and kind of look back at him and the painting and back at him and look at the back side of the painting and I like it. What do you do with one?
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Just take it. I'll do it for a silver.
Deal.
Okay, yeah, you have yourself a extremely hideous person water painting. Like the wood frame's not even like well crafted. It's like you went to Home Depot and like super glued some wood pieces together.
I feel like I went out big in this bargain.
Well, if there's anything else I can do for you, just come on by. Zalblob's always here for you. Takes another long drag of his pipe. Is there anything else you guys want to do there?
No, I'll head back to the new house with my housewarming.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
yeah, same here.
Calarian and Harry.
Guess we're still looking for the ghost, right?
That is up to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you guys trying to do to look for the ghost?
Is it leaving any marks on anything as it's bumping into stuff?
Make a perception check.
Well, also at this point, would my divine sense be done?
Divine sense lasts for a minute, does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the time it took you guys to like look around through the first floor, run up to the second floor, because you know that it went up towards the second floor when you had originally cast it, and then as you guys went out, because you got to run out and around the building, it only takes a couple of seconds. You didn't notice it on the second floor or anywhere within your bubble. Excuse me.
I guess I'll just start searching rooms floor by floor, looking for something specifically, like maybe like a body or I don't know.
Okay, yeah. You take some time to look through the rest of Troll Skull Manor. You're not finding a corpse or anything like that. There's no smell of rot or decay. You're not entirely sure. Make an investigation check for me. 10. That's not bad. Calarian, I'm assuming you're helping, right?
Sure. Is it investigation?
Yes.
Alright.
Okay, nice. So you spend the better part of the evening looking around for any signs of death within the building, and you're coming up a little empty-handed. It's been quiet the entire time. There's probably been about an hour, 2 hours of searching. And you guys both finally make your way up towards the top spire, the turret peak itself. It's more or less the attic area. And it's extremely dusty in here. A large portion of the roof itself is actually missing, so the moonlight is shining into the top area there. And Calarian, you see that there is a small book that is just open but facing with the binding up towards the ceiling. It looks extremely battered and worn.
Okay, I'm gonna try and pick it up and see if anything in
Yeah.
there.
You start flipping through the pages, and a lot of them are very brittle, and some parts of them are like, stuck together as if like water had dried over time and it mended the pages together at some point, so you're having to skip through. What languages do you know?
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, and Elvish.
Oh, okay, perfect, because this is written in Elvish. And as you're flipping through the pages, you can see that there are various dates, and you can see there are lists of inventories. You can see that there are catalogs of wine, shipments of ale. You can see different stocks of food and the prices that this seems to be some kind of ledger. And then you can see that there are hand scribbled notes into here and there. And through the pages that you're reading, you can see that at the beginning of the book, everything seemed to be, from best you can tell, a very well cataloged list of what the person was buying, what the person was selling. And then as you start getting back towards the last few pages of the book, that's where the handwriting starts to get a little more, what's the word, sporadic or erratic, I should say. You can see there are side notes on one page in particular that says, I don't know how much longer I can keep it open. Not making the funds that I thought I would. I don't know what to tell Mary.
Is there a name or anything that sticks out?
No, you're not finding a name on there.
Mentions a portal.
I'm sorry?
It mentions a portal.
No, it mentions together you guys sitting here sifting through it, it mentions like this facility itself. Like it
Okay.
appears to be a ledger of the guy was keeping track of, or the girl, whoever they were keeping track of the inventories, and it seems like almost they were starting to not make the business that they wanted to make. Things were going downhill.
Is it the name of the book was Mary?
The person who ever had written the book, they had said, "I don't know what I'm going to tell Mary."
That's pretty
I'm
much
gonna
it.
ask out loud who Mary is. See if I get any response.
Make a persuasion check.
Nope.
It is extremely quiet.
Hold on.
You got luck, don't you?
Go ahead and roll d20. Yeah. There's a faint creak of wood here and there, and you're not sure if it's just the motion of the building or the breeze picking up outside with the open part of the roof above you. You can hear a couple birds flutter off in the distance, but you're not getting any response.
Okay.
It is about that time that I would say, Levi, you would probably be approaching the manor itself. Took you a little bit of time to get directions, like I did for Baron Calarian, but you do see that there's a large, semi-dilapidated building, about looks like 4 stories tall, and you can see from the very top of the apex of the building, there's a large hole in the roof, and there's a light, some kind of fire flickering from the top of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a look at that. Absolutely.
Sure. And Harry and Calarian, as you guys are shouting out, "Who's Mary?" you start hearing footsteps from down below.
Can I do like a kind of look over and see if I can see anything, or
So the way, let me see if I have the actual photo of it so I can show it to you guys. Trying to get a exterior view. I'll have to upload it to Roll20, but I will post it here in Discord for you. And it looks like this. And you guys are currently in like the center spire there. You guys see it?
I'm looking at it.
Not.
Oh, hold on, I'm a dummy. That's why I put it in the wrong spot. Ta-da.
there we go.
All right. So
Oh yeah, it looks a little different than I thought.
yeah, so you guys are like in that center spire there. Piece of the roof is missing. Levi was looking, he was approaching the steps of the front of the building and sees that light from the bottom, so he's currently like walking around the tap room, and you guys are all the way up there.
I apologize for interrupting, but is that supposed to be viewable to everyone?
I put it on Roll20 because I don't have it on, or I put it on Discord because I don't have it on Roll20.
Ah,
So
gotcha.
I
I'll take
will
a look.
upload it to Roll20 when I get a moment so that you guys have it for access. But it's just an
No
overall visual.
No problem. I was just kind of confused there. You're good.
No problem.
But we haven't heard the ghost do this before.
Making footsteps?
Yeah.
Not since you've been here this evening.
So I don't think I feel like I'd be smart enough to know that it might be part of the group, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't. It doesn't. You would not imagine ghosts would walk or need to.
but this isn't working, so maybe I will just go down and see what's up.
Sure. So yeah, you guys head out down through the second floor and then make your way into the entrance, and there is a red tiefling with bandages wrapped, familiar looking Levi, just currently kind of just standing in the center of the tap room, looking around at the wreck.
Levi, what do you think, huh? Real fixer-upper.
We took this instead of gold.
I said the same thing.
And you. Have we been able to find anything of use in here?
And
No.
Tizio
Is that-
and Talon would start showing up about now.
No,
Oh, there's a ghost.
Oh, good.
What?
There's a ghost. It's not evil, but there's a ghost.
Well, we should start
What do you
charging
mean
people
it's
to
not
come
evil?
see it.
Did you read that book out loud, or am I kind of like just assuming I know what it said?
I don't know, Calarian, did you read it out loud?
The ledger?
Yes.
No, I don't think I did. I think I just called out who's Mary.
Alright.
And I suppose we can just say like I told him what was in the book, or I handed like Perry the book and he.
It's in Elvish,
whatever.
so
Oh.
Perry, do you speak
suppose
Elvish?
That
Nope.
makes a.
Calarian hands you a book that does not make sense to you.
Yes, these are nice. These are nice figures.
I mean, I suppose I don't necessarily know he doesn't speak English or Elvish, so I'll just take the
I
book
can't
back. I
even
guess
spell.
I'll just go ahead and read what's in there out loud to everyone.
Sure.
I think the ghost is either tied to Mary or tied to this tap room. Maybe if we fix it up, it'll go away.
You want to waste time?
Ah, building something is never a waste of time.
So
I'm not saying now, but
Perry, as you mention fixing up the tap room, one of the tables stands upright and adjusts itself from off the floor.
What?
lucky coincidence, maybe.
You're all startled by the fact that like out of nowhere this table just like it was tilted over. It's a round table with like 4 legs. It just rights itself. That's it.
Oh, great.
I'll go
We've got a
stand up
native
another
ghost.
table.
Sure,
Yep.
easy enough to do. They're not all the tables are in good working order. There's maybe 1 or 2 that are usable currently, but a lot of the rest of the stuff is dilapidated.
Yeah, I'll start going around and like casting mend on a few things, like the door, maybe.
Sure,
some of
easy
the
enough to
chairs
do.
or tables.
Okay.
I'm gonna go check the tap on the bar.
Like you pull on the handle.
Yeah.
Well,
see
so
if
so
there's
this isn't
anything coming out.
like modern day bar tap where it's like pressurized. So you look behind and you can see that there are a couple rusted taps that are underneath the bar itself, like on the little shelf underneath the bar. And then you can see behind you there's about, I don't know, a place for maybe 4 or 5 casks that you can put. You have to manually tap these kegs. But we will take a quick break there while we think about how everything's going to go for the rest of the evening while you guys decide what you're going to do before you bed down. It's starting to get pretty late with all the traveling and everything. You guys are hitting close to 11 or so, 12 at night. All right.
GG.
Sounds good.
Yep. Well, we're not done for the night, but we will be back after
No,
a
I
short break.
know.
Oh, I was like, GG, no, I'm
Force
not
of
done.
habit.
Nope,
Force
you're
of
good.
habit. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, and we'll be back in just a few minutes, guys. We'll take 5 or 10.
Does it have any land, or is it just a house?
So it has a bit of a it's not a lot of land like that cobblestone that you see in the Discord photo. It's more or less what kind of like runs out into the alley itself. So there's a small patch of grass, but it's not much. Like a lot of these properties don't have in the castle ward particularly, they don't have like yards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But and Tizio would know in the C ward that is where the upscale, what's the right place? The more upscale homes are where they do have larger estates, with much more cubic feet of yard, but it's all like fenced off and gated community thing like that.
Yeah, and I apologize. I was going off the material spell stuff from the shop information I had. That's why I chose that shop. I feel so bad.
That's funny.
Oh, which one are you talking about?
The A&E, the other one.
Let me see. Oh, the
When I-
A&E
Yeah.
apothecary.
Yeah, because it says and as material components in the casting of spells. So I was like, oh, that's the stuff one that we'll go to.
They did sell ink.
When you gave me the name, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be interesting," but I trusted the local resident.
Yeah.
As you should have.
That's why I was just like, yeah, that's why I was just like, oh, I don't cast spells. Like, I was going off what I know.
It's all good.
DM, question. The scenarios, so, excuse me, as I write my notes and stuff like that, like I only write down the stuff when like my character is there or knows based on, if he can see certain things and stuff like that. Should I be writing down stuff that other like the stuff with like that or no? Like I said before, so I'm not sure.
And that's totally up to you, but your character, unless the party like gave you that information, wouldn't really like, you would have to find that out from them. They would have to be willing to share or tell you in some part of the narrative when they talk.
Okay, cool. That falls in line with like my rules to it. Cool. Thank you.
My dog is angry. Hold on a sec, guys. Treats. All right. Everybody back?
Yep.
Cool. So, is there anything else you guys wish to do for the evening, or do you guys want to push on to the next day?
Furnished? Can we sleep there?
It is not furnished. The place is pretty dilapidated. A lot of the walls are missing parts of plaster. Some of the wood seems to be warped in places. It appears to be pretty run down. And as Perry and Clarion kind of show you guys that there's parts of the roof are missing pieces. There's rats that scurry around here and there. There's stains and different broken pieces of furniture throughout the place.
Okay.
Do we each have our own room here or anything
That's
like that?
totally up to you guys to decide. You each should have a copy in your handouts for what the manor looks like, and how you guys handle it is up to you.
I'll take the attic bedroom.
I'll take the den.
Take the master. I'm sorry, no one called it. No one called it.
I'll take something. Probably the one with the dem and well, actually, I'll probably take the bedroom by the library.
Oh, I see. Okay, hope I'm actually going to take notes on this. Important.
I'll probably knock down the wall.
The wall to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'll just do some remodeling.
Well, okay. So just so you're aware, so there is a like a small study room next to that bedroom that's connected to that bit of a tower. So there's a door there, and then that larger piece connected to the wall is a hearth, and it if you look at it, it's actually connected to chimneys that go up and down along the entirety of the building. So if you were to knock out that wall, you might make the roof collapse because the chimney's there, and there's a stairwell right behind it.
No, I meant like maybe I'd put a door from the bathroom to the study, then I don't ever have to leave those 3 rooms.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Let's see. So, leave I wanted the attic. Yeah, you guys don't have to decide on anything. You can choose it or say it as you guys go. But was there anything else you guys want to do for the evening?
Yes.
Sure. What's up?
Clemarian.
Who?
I'm sorry, my it's a keeps cutting off for some reason. Calarian? What kind of weapon do you have?
Longsword and javelins.
Which one is the strongest? Is it a D8 and a D10?
6. The longsword's a D8, but if it's two-handed, it's a D10, I believe.
It's way off. Your sword. It's an odd thing to request for someone you just kind of semi-met. May I borrow it for tonight?
Why?
I feel like there are some. You're pretty good with it, but I feel like some of the drawback is from the weapon itself, and I feel like I can improve it.
How would you improve it?
It's, if I may, it's not the aerodynamics of it is just not there. The weight of it is just not there as well. If you hold it from here, it's supposed to be even, and like I kind of take it from him and just kind of weigh it on my arm and try to balance it out and get it even.
Calarian, do you let him take it from your hand?
Begrudgingly.
Yeah. I feel the skill is there, but I feel what's holding you back a bit is it's the weapon itself.
Holding me back how, though? You're not really making much sense.
It's just not sharp enough. You may think it's sharp. I'm not questioning your skill and how you take care of it, but the science is just not there. There's just so much wrong with it.
So,
I'm trying to think of what the angle is there.
yeah. So Kalarian, and out of character, Tizio, you can explain what you're trying to do. But but Kalarian, as you're looking at Tizio, and since you guys, you lit a hearth, you guys have some light in the room where you're at. You can see that, and you would know this from fighting with him in the previous night and in the sewers. He does not wield the typical weapons that you're used to seeing. A lot of it seems to have a lot of gears and gizmos, and it's extremely strange, like almost self-made.
I'll trust him with it tonight.
Sir, I thank you. As you can see, I'm compared to you. I am like a weakling. There is no way I would try and threaten you in any way, shape, or form. So, please, I appreciate you loaning me this weapon for the night. I am afraid of your fist. Please keep them away from me. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
You see he's struggling to hold the weapon aloft in both of his hands as he says this.
Okay.
I will then go to Perry and kind of convince him to give me his armor as well.
Hey.
You are trying to tell me how to make armor.
No. You have quite good skills, sir. I'm just saying I'm just saying with both great minds alike, we can make it better.
You have to prove yourself to me first. I will not just hand my armor over to anyone.
Please.
I've never seen you craft anything. I have been in the presence of far superior crafters than even myself. And I don't like to say that, and I don't say that lightly.
I'm just tell me a man that can, or anyone that can craft this, and I'm going to stretch my arm out and do a firebolt out into the air. I guess 5 feet where it's not going to cause damage.
In the tavern?
Wait, what is he showing you?
You look and you see that on Tizio's left or right.
In this scenario, left.
On Tizio's left arm, he pulls back his the sleeve on his jacket a little bit, and you see that there is a well crafted metal gauntlet, and it is not just a single gauntlet. Each of the individual fingers are have quite a lot of mobility to them. They all seem to be very dexterous, but still sleek enough that it blends into a solid piece. And then encrusted into the center of the gauntlet itself is a large red crystal that appears to be almost jewel crafted into the center. And as he reaches his hand out and just flexes his forearm momentarily, you watch as a bolt of fire emanates from the center of this crystal and shoots out through one of the windows, just smashing it all together.
So, would I be able to identify the gauntlet?
You as from the Forge domain, you clearly recognize that this was a gauntlet and it has been altered. It appears that it's actually quite marvelous to look at with your knowledge of Wellread and his crafting of special items. And it's intriguing. It seems as if almost the gauntlet itself wasn't just forged through fire and molded into the shape for his hand, but rather individually built and assembled together.
So, Perry would be drop his guard a bit. Okay. And he'll like your hand and inspect the armor.
Like comparatively, you've never seen your father even think of something like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you're inspecting it closer, Perry approaches you closer to you, kind of grabs your wrist and takes a look at it, and you can definitely confirm now that this gauntlet itself was not a single piece of metal that has been altered on the exterior, but rather multiple pieces of smaller refined metal that has been somehow welded on top of what appears to be like a very thin layer of chainmail. Then it also attaches to leather inside for comfort, and then it just has this stone that's just embedded in the center of it. And you watch as Tizio flexes his fingers a little bit. And as gauntlets go, they're not meant for mobility; they're meant for just protection overall. And you seeing how he's able to, as if he wasn't wearing a glove at all, move his fingers naturally.
And you made this with your own hands.
With my own 2 hands.
What in a forge like this? You can't just hammer iron and steel like this.
You definitely could not. And not to go into specifics and whatnot, I kind of just throw like all this like mumbo jumbo to him with like long words he may or may not have heard before, and kind of just explaining everything to him.
Roll an intelligence check.
Oh, God damn it.
The forging elements, when he's describing how he had to specifically create castings for each individual piece, you understand. You understand that there are different layers of leather and chainmail and actual steel creating the exterior structure. How he is getting it to operate and repetitively create fire from its source, it's a little baffling.
So it's not actual like magical. It's not like a magical imbuement. It's more like how it works. It can just
correct. Yeah, you've seen like Talum cast similar spells. This appears to be like that, but it appears to be mechanical in nature, not arcane.
So, what, you're gonna do this to my chainmail? So I'll shoot firebolts out of my chest?
Not exactly. At least not yet. I just feel like there can be more that can be done to improve it with its current craftsmanship. I'm not saying that it's a bad craftsmanship, but I feel like it can be improved upon a bit.
I don't know. Fine, only for the sake of curiosity.
What damage can you do? It's not like there's a forge here.
Well,
If
there's a lot of damage you could do.
If I can't improve upon it, and I'll kind of stick out my face out a bit, and or I guess my jawline, specifically, and just run my hand across and be like, if I can't improve upon it, by all means, you and Clemarian can destroy this pretty face of mine.
Pretty face.
Don't tempt me. Well, it's fine. Like I said before, curiosity is getting the better of me, so yeah.
I thank you. I thank you indeed.
Can you carry both the armor and the sword at the same time?
Nope at all. Yeah, exactly. Nope. I will carry them one at a time. It'll probably take me like 20 minutes.
I mean, I could ask. But you don't seem to like magic very much, so.
I will accept your offer, but I will decline at the moment. I have night to move these over.
Well, enjoy your manual labor.
Levi, is there anything you wish to do before the evening closes?
um, I think I. Well, you don't want to make me anything?
Looks at you, Tizio.
Limited resources, and perhaps I will in time, but at least tonight I cannot.
Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna go to my room. It's been a long day.
All right. Can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah, I'm good for today.
Okay, it was cutting in and out for me. And it's doing it again.
Same here with Tizio.
Very weird. I don't know if my
But
connection...
that's about it.
Say again?
Perry would go about mending doors
Okay. I think my connection's cutting in and out
just
a little
to
bit.
make it a little more homely, but that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think my connection's a little funky. So with that, you all find places to lay down for the night. There's no real beddings or anything like that, but you manage to snuggle and try to get some amount of sleep for the evening. Calarian, as you are... oh, I was just stating your name. So as everyone's falling off to sleep for the evening and you lay down to rest for the night, you're just taking in your senses. It's relatively quiet. You can hear some tinkering going on in one of the rooms nearby. Sleep washes over you, and as you do sleep, it's not entirely restful. You start to dream, and in this dream, everything is pitch black around you. It is extremely hard to see. You are standing there in this, what feels like a void of just emptiness. And you look around, and in the distance you can see that there's this faint bit of light, but you're not entirely sure where it's from. Second. Slowly, as you watch, the light drifts closer towards you, and as if a door is opening, the light expands into a larger picture of the world around you. You stand atop a cliffside, looking down upon a city that is in the process of being set ablaze. Music stop. Cool. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
There it goes. Not the right music either. Har har har. There it goes. The city that you were staring at, it's not, you don't recognize it, but it's currently on fire, and you don't feel the heat from where you are, but you can hear the screams out in the distance. A voice starts to chime in the back of your head. Warning. Not all is safe. And you look around and you try to see the source of this voice. It's voiceless. There's nothing near you. and you look back, and you can see almost faintly along the darkened skies that seems to gather, and lightning starts to streak across what appears to be a large winged creature flying through those clouds. And you wake up a little startled, and you look around and look out one of the windows nearby. It's quiet. You hear a couple horse-drawn carriages in the distance, but everything appears to be normal. And then you lay down and you try to fall back asleep. The following morning, everyone rises to the sounds of birds chirping and people moving about their day. Everything seems to be where you left it without issue. And the day is yours. What do you guys wish to do? You can hear the shouts of people heading to market. You can hear footsteps and traffic throughout the outer streets, but not a lot of foot traffic yet in the alley in which this new building resides. What do you guys want to do?
I want to check on my sword.
Yeah, I was gonna before I guess he even wakes or anything like that, I'm going to leave his sword and the armor in front of their doors. You know, it seems confusing at a glance, but there's some like wiring going around the sword, for it just seems odd. At least I'm assuming it'll seem odd to Calarian, and same thing with the armor. There's some wiring that goes through it, kind of makes it a bit not necessarily thicker, but stronger. It kind of combines all the pieces together to kind of keep them together when struck. And I'll put together here what they mean.
So, Calarian and Perry, as you guys arouse, you open up your bedroom chamber doors, and you see that your armor and sword are where just leaned up against the side, waiting for you. Perry, I would say your armor, it looks the same overall, but as you start to don it, getting ready for your day, it feels a little lighter, but it feels a little stronger. And you're not entirely sure what he did to it, but there, some of the chafing that you would have around the shoulders and underneath the armpits, that chafing seems to be gone. Calarian, you pick up your longsword and you give it a couple swings, and you're looking at it, and it doesn't appear like anything else is different, but the hilt seems to be a little sturdier. The grip seems to be a little tighter.
Is that permanent then?
Yeah, you have a permanent +1 to your weapon and armor until he infuses a different item.
Sweet. Although Perry is not super delighted about it.
It's a little perturbing how you see the imperfections that he has worked on overnight, and you're like, I could have done that.
Funny, I was actually gonna say that in character.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, because and then when he was talking about the wiring, I was like gonna pick it up, like, yeah, I could have done that.
Could have done, but didn't.
So, the day is yours. What do you guys wish to do? As you guys can see here on the map, there are several different buildings with various different things.
So are these like? I mean, I guess we wouldn't know what they are, but like, Are they like houses, shops?
They all, well, you are definitely welcome to
Yeah, because it's just
go to
'cause
one
they're
and find
numbered,
out.
that's why.
I'm numbering them so you know where their locations are. But looking around, I mean, they appear to be establishments.
Interesting.
Are we located to a certain place around here? Or?
Building number 1 is Trollskull Manor.
Who do we see
Tokens.
about getting it renamed?
Well, that would probably be when you talk to the magistrate about transferring the deed of ownership.
Yeah, because I believe we're still inspecting it and whatnot. We haven't agreed to it, if I remember correctly.
So technically, we just squatted.
Well, I mean, yes, but you were given the key by Volo.
Based on, I guess on my knowledge and whatnot. Can I kind of go over the whole building and see the ups and downs to it and see if it's worth keeping or worth the payment that he gave us?
You're trying to appraise the building?
Yeah, I guess appraise and like the price to it versus the taxes that we would have to pay and
Well,
can we get income from it to pay it off and
Turn it
to
into an
offset
Airbnb.
to offset the cost that we would have to spend
right.
on taxes and things like that.
Well, with your background, I would say you're not a structural engineer. And,
Not necessarily
let me finish.
wrong wording.
No, you're fine. So, as far as the overall costs to repair the building itself to make it functional, I mean, that really depends on, are you going to be trying to hire guilds to do this? Are you going to be trying to do this yourself? And in addition, you would know that there are various guilds specifically designed to do those types of tasks. So you would definitely have to ask around, or because of your background, you would know that there are, what's the best way to say this? Agencies that specifically focus in the management of all those tasks. So you can definitely search for an agency to say, hey, we want to repair this. Can you coordinate with XYZ to get all these things repaired, and how much would that cost us? For an approximation of that, you would have to get, the surveyors to assess the damages that are done. You would have to find people who can craft furniture if you are trying to replace furniture, or however you want to do that. It seems like an over daunting task, but it can be mitigated or doled out to other people to do those things. But you're not entirely sure of the cost for repairs. As far as returning it to a place of business, I mean, if you guys, that depends on what kind of business you guys are trying to run. If you're trying to turn it back into a tap room, there's money to be made in tap rooms. You would know specifically that the Castle Ward district doesn't really have a lot of taverns.
Wait, so are we in the North Ward or the Castle Ward?
I'm sorry, you were in the North Ward. My apologies. The North Ward doesn't have a large number of taverns. There are some here or there. But yeah, you guys would have to talk around and get the lay of the land, see if it's worth repairing.
All right, guys. So there's a lot of repairs that can go to this place, but this is the North Ward. And there's a tap room. It's kind of an untapped market, in my opinion. I feel that we can possibly open up shop for this and maybe, make repairs here and there, whatever is needed, and, slowly make money off of this.
I'd like to point out one important fact. It was a tap room and it is no longer. So if it was profitable, it probably would still be in business.
Touche, sir. Touche. Is there anything we can do to maybe things we can make or sell to make and sell and make a profit off of this, and in the short, you know, the short time span that we have before making improvements.
I mean, I don't know how much a concern a profit is. It's always nice to have a base of operations and place to stash some stuff. There's more value to it than how much cash we can extract.
Correct, but at the same time, if property taxes and whatnot are 100 gold, 100 dragon marks, and we only make 50, we're going to be losing money on this.
Anything is a profit if we just sell it right. If we get the deed switched to us and then we sell it.
I don't think Volo would be giving it to us if it's easy to sell.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
very true.
I'm for keeping it, but I mean, it didn't sound like Volo had cash anyway, so it kind of sounds like we get this or we get nothing.
Yeah.
Easy enough to fix this up. Just
Yeah.
take some time.
I gotta take some money too.
I think we should be able to raise some money.
Some of
Or
the
adventurers.
windows in the tap room where you guys are gathered had just opened up.
Fixed up?
I think with the right tools, yeah, definitely we can fix it up, and definitely I vote to keep it.
Can't possibly cost that much to fix it up.
Well, we'll need to find somebody who can do it.
Mhm,
'Cause I don't know about you, but I am not a handyman.
Me either.
Well, there's got to be someone who can put us in the right direction.
Anybody in town we trust?
Well, I can go ask. I can go ask Durnan.
I could ask the captain of the city watch.
How'd you get to him?
That's a long story. I just know that he would put us in the right direction. Stern old man, please. It's like they all know each other. So if one is a great contractor and a carpenter, he can get us to him.
To the DM, based on the location and stuff like that, would I have known anything about this building? You know, like previous establishments.
Ooh, make a history check. It unfortunately, it's just it doesn't ring a bell. Troll School Manor doesn't appear to be something that was on your radar as a hotspot establishment for your type of clientele.
What kind of guilds are around here?
In the castle ward,
Sure.
are you you are not entirely sure, Perry, with you not being here.
I was gonna ask,
Being
would
from
I
here.
know of any famous famous establishments, guilds, or anything like that around here that I can think that may raise the value of this?
I guess I'm confused. So if you're asking for guild halls, I mean there are a few. There's like one or two guild halls that are in the North Ward itself, but
within I don't know, like a mile, not a mile, I guess, because I don't know the distance, but within range, within the numbered range, I will probably say, that would like that I can be like, oh, this building is surrounded by so and so guild and so shop and other so and so shop that, you know, maybe we can attract people around here.
well, having not ventured onto this part of the North Ward, you're not entirely sure what other establishments are here. But that would be something that you would kind of have to walk around and see. When you guys arrived last night, you didn't see any establishments that were necessarily open. The building itself kind of caught your eye, especially because you guys took the main road there straight to the building, so you couldn't miss it. And you guys were looking around. You did happen to see a couple signs that were nearby, namely like number 4. You saw that the uppermost floor, that 2 or 3 story building, was actually, it looked like a lush greenhouse surrounded in glass. So you're not entirely sure what that is.
And do the other buildings around look much nicer than this? Or are they also run down with holes?
No, so the other buildings around here do look a lot nicer. A lot of the houses here in the North Ward are more upscale. So if we were to compare like price wise, like the C Ward is Manhattan, the North Ward is we'll say Vermont.
Okay. Kind of like middle class people.
Yes. Levi, with your passive, I would say it's probably about now, with it being about 8 or 9 in the morning. You can hear in the distance, not too far from you, the sound of metal clanging. Ting, ting. Coming from outside.
I need to take a look at something real quick.
Sure.
I'd go with.
Sure.
Let's make it an adventure. Maybe there's breakfast.
Cool.
And,
And we'll head off in the direction.
Sure, yeah. You guys, you step out into the alley, and it's a warmly lit spring day. Looking around here, you can see that there are a number of patrons that are crossing through the alley, entering into a couple of other homes here in your alley, or just cutting through. Looking left from exiting the manor, you can see that there is white smoke billowing from the residence all the way at the end of the alley there, namely in the direction of like number 2. You can hear that the sound of what sounds like, and now Perry, you're picking up on it too, what sounds like a hammer on anvil, metal on metal.
Harry will definitely perk up.
This could be someone that could help us. Or point us in the right direction.
Okay. So you guys want to make your way that way or go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So making your way over towards the western side or the eastern side of the alley, you can see that there is a... Actually, let me double check that. Yeah. So it's not number 2 specifically. It's actually the smoke is billowing from this location here. So you can see that there's smoke and steam billowing from the many windows around this what appears to be an indoor forge. As you guys approach, you can see that there is a large wooden sign with a anvil and sword. Just the sword is laid directly on top of the anvil. And as you enter in, you can feel the immediate heat wash over you, and it's very reminiscent for you, Perry, of working many days at home with your father. And you can hear the loud sounds of metal being molded here in the back, but in the front area you can see that there are various types of chainmail armor, full plate mail, various different weapons that are all neatly organized on the different racks as you enter into this establishment. You can see in front of you that there's a male standing behind the counter, and there's a bit of a moment where you pause because as you're looking at there, it reminds you almost at a glance of Eldane. However, the skin is red. The hair is loosely falling back. The hair stalks are just loosely dangling from back behind. There is a large leather apron on his chest, and he is just in the process of organizing some things on the counter. And he looks up to you and he goes, "Oh, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the Steam and Steel. My name is Avi. How may I help you?" Oh, Embrick, excuse me. His name is Embrick.
I think we should introduce ourselves. We just took over the property just down the alley there. I'm Levi. I hold my hand out to his.
He reaches forward to shake it, and he pulls off the leather glove that he was wearing, and as you grasp his hand, it's extremely warm. And he says, "Levi, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Could you do you know anything about that property, the Troll Skull Manor?
He as he's looking at you, he says, "Ooh, one moment. AV, we have new guests. They just moved in." And you hear as the clang and clang on metal stops for a moment, and then there's this sound of metal being extremely cooled extremely quickly, and Perry, you would recognize it. And you watch as another genasi, but not red. This one is blue. Male walks out from behind the main area where the forge is in the back, and you can see he looks over towards Embrick and he says, "Oh, Embrick, you said we have new residents." And he looks over at you and he says, "Do you mean to tell me you guys just took Troll Skull Manor?"
Oh, yes. Quite the fixer-upper.
I'd say indeed. And Embrick just nods. Yes. It's been out of use for quite some time. It's been sad, really. Haven't been able to have a good drink in a while.
Did you know the previous owners?
He stops for a moment to think, and then AV speaks up and he goes, "No, when we opened up the Steam and Steel, that place had already been out of business for quite some time, as far as we could tell. It's a shame, really."
Do you have any
know-
recommendations on who could possibly help us fix it up?
Well, there are a number of agencies that you can reach out to. I wouldn't recommend going to each guild directly. The paperwork could be a bit of a headache, and Ember kind of chuckles and goes, yes, we know all about that. Following guild rule is quite annoying.
And are all the craftsmen part of a guild, or?
Well, that depends on what sort of trade you are trying to do. We, in particular, here at the Forge, we are part of the most careful order of skillful smiths and metal forgers. Do you plan on opening a forge? There's a little bit of jealousy in his eyes.
Well,
Cool.
it depends. If I could use your forge, I wouldn't need to.
Tiny man, the forge is not easily handled by maybe someone of your size. If you need something crafted, we can definitely do it. We are very good at it.
You might find a little surprise right here. Just saying. But so be it. I don't mind having a personal forge.
uh, Avi smiles politely and he looks over at Embrick and he says, "Oh, Embrick, please do not tease our new guests. Please, we welcome you to Trollskull Alley. This place was named after that building, and that is why we've been so sad that it's been out of business. Um, if there is anything you guys need for metalworking or forging, please let us know. We have a wide variety of things, and we can build new things if you request it."
What metals do you work with? Only iron?
Currently, yes, most of the things we work with are iron and steel. We have on occasion been m- requested to make special items out of things like copper or mithril.
I see. Thank you.
Of course.
So we could come to an understanding as far as you potentially helping us with certain aspects of the house then.
Are you asking for repairs?
Repairs, fortifications, it's
Fortifications? With this, we are not at war. The North Ward is quite a safe place. But if you are looking for repairs, there you would probably be in need of furniture and things like that, no?
for now.
Well, you should definitely talk to Tally over at the Bent Nail. It's right across the street. There are dozens of exceptional furniture that he makes there. But if there is any metal you need forged, definitely come to us. We are number one here in the North Ward.
Speaking of the guilds,
Do you, are there any guilds in this area?
There are a couple, how do you say, small guilds. But the main primary guilds are all in the Trades Ward or in the yes. There are a few scattered within the southern part of the Castle Ward, but most of the guilds themselves are in the Trades Ward. If you are looking for the Maps and Surveyor Guild or the Sewers and Plumbers to help restore the basic foundations, that's probably the best place to start. But like Avi said, it's best to find some agency or someone you know that can handle those things for you.
Do you have any recommendations of one of those agencies, or just
Let me think. And Embrick and Avi start talking to each other. And I don't think any of you speak Primordial.
Oh.
Yeah, so they start speaking to you in these guttural low tones, and they after a few moments they look at you and they say, "We can go see if the man who helped us set up our establishment here, if he would be available to take on new clients, but please just give me a little bit of time and we will reach out to him."
and you were happy with his work?
Oh, we have been here for close to 10 years now. Haven't ever had a problem with the guild or with the establishment, and kind of gestures out to the rest of the place. It seems fairly in order and kept well.
You said there was a carpenter across the way we could talk to about furniture?
Yes, Tally. Please, let him know Imbrick and Avi sent you. Tell him you are new to town. I'm sure he hasn't had a good long project in a while.
Of course, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Is there sure there's no way I can armor you up a little bit, skinny man?
Yeah, I don't do too well in armor. It's quite heavy.
Oof. Nothing a good glass of wine and some meat on your bones can't help with, eh?
I'll just sigh and kind of walk away.
So here at the Steam and Steel, if there are any kind of basic materials that you guys need for like armor and weapons, things like that, they can definitely provide that for you. Or if there's a special commission of things, just speak with them, ask them, hey, what are you guys trying to do? And they can work with you to try to make it happen.
It's good to know.
At this point, since it's already 10, I guess we can put a cork in it for the evening. And we can pick up with the welcome introductions into Troll Skull Alley on our next session.
Okay.
Right? He probably would be. Do you guys have
So-
any questions for me? Yeah.
I have a question for Perry.
Yep.
With that thing you sent earlier, can you like do different metals, or is it only like the equipment section in the book? Like, could you make a lead box?
I can make anything under 100 gold.
That seems extremely useful.
Well, so
Yeah,
the
is there
metal
like
you
a
give me,
limit to it?
well, it's 100 gold is the limit. So the value of 100 gold, and then you have to give me metal worth that item. So if it's worth 60 gold, I need 60 gold worth in metal.
But does it have to be like if I wanted a lead box? Does it have to be lead, or
Nope.
or can it just?
You can hand me lead box worth of freaking gold coins, and I can turn the gold coins into a lead box.
So basically supply him with the gold cost of the materials, and he can transmute it. I'd have to reread into that a little bit.
Well, so it says like you can literally turn things into wood, like metal into wood and stuff like that.
Right, like a transmuted property.
Yeah.
Is there a time limit on that, or is it a permanent?
It's once a day, so it's my channel divinity.
Ah, I see. That's right. Yeah.
So there's no limit, like for my class. Like there's how many I can do. Essentially, like you have no limits as to how many you can do.
Well,
Yeah, you're one of those rare cases where it's permanent. It's usually not permanent like that.
Well, yeah, but for Perry's ability, what he's saying is like it's like an hour ritual cast where he has to be within range of the material, and it thematically it's almost as if he's taking the material and forging it into the new material that he needs with the blessings of his deity. But it's all simple structures.
Yeah, nothing magical, but
I'm gonna hop off. I'm having trouble staying awake, so I'll see you
Yep,
guys
yep,
next
no,
week.
thank
See
you,
ya.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
So what if? Because I'm trying to think for Levi, something a little more. Because I mean, he's basically just obviously a monk, so he's very up close. How do we feel about homebrew items that
Such as
like Perry could make? Or sorry. Oh, why am I blanking?
5 months.
That Tizio could make. I think there's what is it? Like these black metal cards, like playing cards. That would just be ranged for me.
Oh, like Twist of Fate in League of Legends, so you can like chuck metal cards as daggers or as darts.
Yeah, like I would just yeah.
I mean, so
do it that way.
so if you're just trying to like improvise, it would still end up being the stat of a dart, but narratively, they would be whatever you guys wanted to craft them as.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys wanted to work together with Perry and Tizio and make these real thin metal cards that you can, have serrated edges and throw, totally possible.
Cool. Definitely works for me.
Awesome. Well, sorry to cut it short in the middle of you guys exploring.
No, you're good. I gotta go to sleep anyways.
next session we negotiate the price of carpentry.
Well, Or I mean, you could always just. Volo said he was going to meet you guys so that he could work on the transfer deed the following morning. So definitely ask him too.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny.
I mean, if you guys want to do it yourselves or manage all the stuff with your guilds, we can totally do that.
I was thinking about trying to find a guild for him to like re-up his membership. 'cause
Yes,
obviously-
for you, Perry, you would know. Let's see. You would need to speak to the probably the same, the same guild that Emmerich and Avi work for, which would be the Careful Order of Smiths and Metal Forgers.
So I have a question about the guilds. I don't know if I would know this because I'm like not from there, but like, is Xanathar's guild like, or like the Zentarum, are they like a guild above other guilds, or are they like equal to the Smith's guild or the Carpenter's guild?
I've kind of been asking myself that same question, but I wasn't sure. So if there's like a rule we have to make, I'd like to be part of it.
Well, I would say none of you have extensive knowledge on every guild in the city, but you can definitely ask someone.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was like common knowledge that it was like Xanathar is like a coalition of guilds or something. But like if we don't know, as we don't know, that's fine.
Currently, you do not know, but someone does have the answer.
Xanathar himself.
Well, I mean, if you want to go that route.
I'm sure we would have trouble finding him.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for playing on a Sunday. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. No, definitely. I appreciate
Thanks
you,
as
man,
always
for
running it.
exactly.
My
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what are the chances you got you like nailed my flaw? That's pretty funny.
Say that again.
It says like, what are the chances he nailed my flaw like that? That's pretty funny. Just saying.
That he nailed your flaw as far as the armor?
So his flaw is he is incredibly jealous of anybody who is better than him at crafting stuff, pretty much.
Right. So that's why I'm asking, like, for Tizio
That's
to have nailed the
funny.
flaw. Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, fourth session in, Artie has found the biggest pet peeve of one of the party members.
I
And
know.
his entire class. Tizio is literally antithesis of Percy.
Like I
Or
said,
Perry.
I felt like I felt like so I spoke to the DM about it. Like it's the role playing of things, like I want to explore more into that. Like I'm not the best at role playing, so like that's what I was trying to do, like exploring into that. And like I felt like I was more like overplaying it, or making it difficult on myself and stuff like that. So like I'm kind of glad that I played into your flaw.
Oh, I'm not complaining. That's why we have them. But it's just I feel like every time I get into a new campaign, there's always one person that I have to be a dick to.
Hey,
Well, in the last campaign I was in you with, it wasn't because of his character. It's more because of him.
No,
Every
so
character he
it
played
didn't
was the
help.
same.
Well, that didn't help either. But originally, his first character, my character was racist towards his species,
Oh,
and so
okay.
I had to be a huge asshole to him the whole time. And then it just kind of escalated from there.
Dude, like to be honest and fair, and like I feel that in my opinion, the flaws of a character kind of they kind of bring out the character, and like they flesh them out and whatnot. So like, yeah, if I bring out your flaw, like definitely like play your character in that flaw. I feel like that's what creates your character. So definitely, for sure. I'm glad you continue to play
Of
it.
course, I will. And if I get too crazy, just let me know, man.
Oh,
I'm usually just
you're
I'm
good.
usually
You're good.
just snarky and not typically an asshole. So
I can't wait till you try to erect the forge in the bottom floor of a tavern.
I'm still like
As
on the where
everyone
to put it.
is drinking.
Yeah, I don't know where you would put it either. It doesn't make like structurally it
just
doesn't
stick
make
with-
sense.
well,
Yeah, I might just stick with borrowing the our new friends' forge. But
I'm sure if you give them a couple gold, they'd be more than happy to let you use it for a couple hours.
couldn't hurt to try. But yeah, I mean, just so you guys are aware, yeah, like the overall structure of the house, if you guys wanted to try to like alter or change things, it's totally possible, just at a price.
I mean, what level is it when clerics get that thing where the angel can like do everything for them in
Divine
like an hour?
intervention. Oh, I
No,
know what you're talking
they're,
about.
they're like the divine worker.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't. I believe that's a 5th level spell. I want to say.
I mean, it's
Divine-
expensive as hell.
Divine
but
servant.
It's
yeah,
really
it's like
fast.
1,000 gold per hour or something like that.
To the DM, the carpenter tools, you may or may not want to look into that, because that's I feel like I in another campaign I played in, I feel like that's an overpowered. I feel like that's an overpowered tool, which I'm I'm trying to steer away from it, but at least I guess like narrative wise, like I may dip into it because of like the repairs and stuff like that.
Carpenter tools or tinkering tools?
Carpenter tools.
I will.
And the other campaign I was in, like like it would at least for me, like it wasn't the Waterdeep one, but like it was the Curse of Strahd, and even then for just certain small scenarios, like I felt like it was overpowered in a sense.
Well, I mean, carpenter's
At least the way I used them.
the carpenter tools themselves. I mean, it just allows you to add your proficiency bonus to an ability check when you're crafting. So if
Anyone could do it. Could use the carpenter's tools.
but you have to be proficient with it to get the proficiency bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing. At least with my the class and the feats I had, it had the expertise to it. But then with Xanathar's breakdown of it, like I was able to kind of like not exploit it, but kind of like take advantage of it with how it would explain
See you
things.
guys.
Yeah, have a good one. Well, you'll have just send me an example of what you're trying to talk about, and we'll work with it.
Oh no, like I said, I'm not gonna do it right now, type of thing. At least with like how it's been going, but I feel the way um the house we're in that we may be taking in, like I feel like I may be trying to exploit it.
I guess I'm still not fully grasping it because carpenter's tools you're talking about, like for if you're trying to repair the building yourself.
Yeah, correct. But yeah. Yeah, I'll message you offline.
Sure. All right, that works.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks for playing. I appreciate it. Oh, hey Perry. You get a DM inspiration die.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I think that's the first time I've gotten inspiration for actually doing something. in a
Well, I'm
campaign.
taking it. I'm taking it away now. No, just kidding. Yep. So yeah, you have a DM inspiration for a advantage on a roll.
Nice.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Gary, have a good night, guys.